Uh,
Hey, everybody, and welcome to episode 8 of Unedited. I'm your host, Patrick, and this is my co host, Alex V, as in Valium. Um, we are known for being entirely random, and if you've grown to appreciate that by episode 8, I hate to tell you, we've actually got a list of talking points here. They're basically just I'm going to discuss uh, with Alex here. He's feeling a little under the weather, so don't mind it if he sounds a little bit crass. Alex?
oh, I'm still here. I'm just peachy.
It sounded like you fell over or something
I barely moved.
at the beginning.
My phone moved, but
Oh,
um, I'm just
yeah.
peachy. So I will do. I
Yeah.
will do my best to be entertaining.
Right. Well,
Whee!
I mean, the criminals don't sleep. So, who says that the criminals don't sleep? They sleep.
I've
It's
never
probably
heard
just during the
that.
day.
I never heard that saying before.
You've never heard that crime doesn't sleep, so therefore I can't sleep? You've
No,
never
I
heard
heard
that
crime
before?
doesn't pay.
You, it's a thing, man. Crime doesn't sleep. It's a real thing because, I mean, have you ever watched like CSI or like one of those real investigative shows where the guy's like,
What's a CSI?
"Well, Johnson, crime scene investigation."
What's
No,
a Law
it's
and
like, well,
Order? It's all none
exactly.
of it's
Oh,
real, man. You know why?
okay.
Because the government
Well,
puts that shit on the TV to make sure we're not paying attention.
all right. Let's move on to our very first. Um,
Anyway,
uh, I'm gonna start us off with like a few current events, things that took place just recently. I mean, that might help you to figure out when this was recorded. This isn't our usual MO. It's during the day. It's not at night before we're going to sleep. It's at the crack of afternoon. Um, there was, I'm sure all of you have seen this on Facebook, unless you're not the type that uses Facebook. There was what is it, a 10 or 11-foot Trump balloon flown over the UK during his visit with the with the Queen of England.
I love that. I saw the balloon and it looked hilarious.
It looked pretty obnoxious. The best part, and the reason I'm mentioning it, is because Trump actually made a statement about the balloon. And I'm not going to quote it
Okay.
I'm not going to quote it verbatim because I kind of jotted it down in a note taking kind of way. But basically, he said, if they're going to fly a balloon to make me feel unwelcome, then why should I go there? I mean, like in my mind, that Nicolas Cage meme pops up like, oh no, really? Are you kidding? If you're not welcome, gee, you shouldn't go there. Good. Hey, thanks, Captain Obvious. Thanks, Commander in Chief. That's not even. I'm not. Yeah,
You
I'm
know,
not even getting political.
if I go to someone's house and I see a sign on the front lawn saying, "Alex, don't come in," I am gonna feel pretty unwelcomed.
Yeah, I I feel like, this is going to be a little bit of hyperbole, but it's like it's as if somebody was just stabbing you, just straight up in the gut, right? And you're like, gee, when people are stabbing me in the gut, I feel like they really want to stab me in the gut, you know. And it's not like the float or the balloon isn't even there in a comedic way. Really, it's more of like a disrespectful kind of way. It's not like Mad TV humor. It's not like what's the other one? SNL humor. It's like straight up like, hey, this is what we think of you, and yeah, you're a big baby who's fat and also orange. and filled with air, hot air.
He really is too orange for his own good.
Yeah, no. And again, guys, listening, I love Trump supporters, and I also love liberal people, and all the other parties, because I don't see you guys as parties. I see you as people with opinions, and that's really how we should all look at it. But unfortunately, it's not the case. I think that you all have endearing qualities. I mean, you all have shitty qualities, but you all have endearing qualities, just like anybody. Trump supporters might be narrow-minded assholes, but they might help you change a tire if you're broke down on the side of the road. You never know, right? Or they might have a shotgun waiting when you're being robbed. I don't know. Maybe that's too stereotypical. They might have firearms training. How's that sound? That's a better way to put it. Anyways, I just thought his response was just so cherry. How he said, "Oh, if they're just going to fly a balloon to make me feel unwelcome, then maybe I won't go there anymore." It's like, I kind of think that's what they wanted.
Yeah. It should give you an idea that maybe a lot of people don't think you're doing a good job.
I mean, they won. I mean, they got their message across. He saw it. It actually got into his radar, But yeah, that's the thing I wanted to talk about. And basically, I'm just going to go down the list of talking points, and I'll tell you verbatim what I wrote. This next thing I wrote is energy drinks / melatonin. For those of you that don't know what melatonin is, it's this natural chemical that your brain secretes when it's nighttime to help you sleep. Some people don't produce enough melatonin, which in turn creates the problem of insomnia. But you can take a supplement, 5, 3, 10 milligrams of melatonin, and it'll actually put you to sleep and give you some pretty crazy dreams. The point of the statement is, yeah. Oh, yeah, I can attest to that, too. The point of the statement I'm making here, I think I wrote it down because I was Googling energy drinks in bulk. I wanted to buy a ton of energy drinks online to save money as far as going to the convenience store. And then it wasn't a night later, I realized that I was searching for melatonin in bulk. And I was like, wait a minute. One of these is not helping the other. I'm looking for uppers to get me through the day, and I'm looking for downers to get me through the night.
And the unfortunate thing about that is you can't overindulge in either of those, because eventually one's gonna overarch the other.
Well, yeah. Well, it in a lot of things, I don't just think about myself. I try to compare it to other people. And when you think about it, man, we all are mixing medicines, man. It's self-medicating. We get this thing because, man, I've got to have it in the morning to get me through the day, or the night if you work third shift. And then when you need to relax, you need this other thing. Otherwise, you can't relax. I mean, think about this. We were cavemen and women. We were out there running around without all this stuff. But now we're just like so inundated by it. I don't know. It's an interesting thought to me that we all need this stuff to function in a 24-hour period, which really isn't a long time when you think about it.
It's also tricky to think that if you take too much of something, it can have the opposite effect.
Oh, yeah. Well, you told me about this one experience you have with melatonin. Back when I first started trying the melatonin, you were like, hey, make sure you're not looking at your phone or anything bright, because if you do that, you'll get to this point where you're still awake, but you feel out of it.
Yeah, and it's not even like a good out of it. It's where you reach a point where you're physically tired because the pill is taking effect, but the light in the blue of the phone kind of gives enough energy to your eyes and to your brain to like stay mentally active.
Yeah.
So it's like if you really want a strong melatonin effect and like a good night's sleep, the best thing to do is to first off already be tired, take the pill, and then actively try to sleep like immediately.
Yeah. I tested your theory, and I'll tell you what, it was a really strange night. I kind of laid there like, whoa, like the whole bed felt like it was picking up and kind of like tilting and stuff because I wanted to be asleep, but I couldn't, you know? I had that tired feeling. It just felt like everything was moving on me. So yeah, folks, if you have trouble sleeping and you didn't know melatonin was a thing, you can spend $10 and get a bottle of it and see if it doesn't help you. But keep in mind that they don't know the long-term effects on the brain yet when it comes to melatonin. From what I understand, there's concern that if you take it too regularly, if you take it too often, your brain will lose the ability to produce that chemical.
Yeah.
Altogether. So
like it's one of those pills where you don't want to take it like more than maybe once or twice a week. And
right.
And like I bought these 10 milligram melatonin, which I probably shouldn't have. And
I like those.
Yeah.
I like those. Yeah.
And like I've probably taken 3 already this week. So I'm going to have to like take the next 2 or 3 weeks off of taking those just so I can like mentally build myself up to sleep again or something on my own.
You're trying to reset your internal body clock, basically.
Basically, yeah.
To do it on its own. Yeah, because it can throw you out of whack, I believe. And any chemical that you're introducing from an outside source, I think it can throw you off.
I think also a good method is for me, and it's a very painful thing to do, but like if you are having trouble sleeping and you got work in the morning or whatever, just fucking tough it out. Drink a lot of water, maybe even have a soda, nothing like Mountain Dew or anything, like have like a root beer that's like caffeine free or whatever. And just like tough it out. And then like if you're really that tired, then after work, go home and take a nap and don't feel bad about it.
Right, because in that case, I mean, you're forcing yourself to power through, and you're almost, it's kind of like shifting your brain to the good part of your schedule. That makes sense.
You're forcing your brain to like work harder, which is not I'm sure this is the exact opposite of what you're supposed to do, but for me,
of course,
I do that, and then I'll go home, I'll take a nap, and it'll be a really good nap. I'll wake up for a bit, maybe eat something, and then I'll go to bed for the night. And like, you'll catch up on sleep, and then the next day you'll either have overslept, which is easier to deal with than undersleeping for me. You'll either oversleep or you'll feel great.
Yeah, I mean, that's if I get to the point where I know I'm only going to have a couple of hours of sleep before work, I just don't sleep. I'll just stick out through that day and just suffer because realistically, you're going to catch a second wind after leaving work, and then that'll keep you going just long enough to get a good night's sleep the following night. It's it's really unhealthy, I imagine, and you always feel like you're shaky and like this is the end of the world, I'm going to die, kind of thing. But it's you can stay up for many days. I mean, obviously, it's going to have an impact on your health, but one night isn't going to kill you. But
Right.
it might just save your whole sleep schedule. Yeah, I don't know. I think it ties into depression or anxiety too. Some people can't sleep because they can't turn their minds off. And I'll tell you, I'm one of those people sometimes, or at least as of recently.
Well,
As
let's
of
let's
yeah.
thank God that I'm not one of those people. I've been sleeping great the last week.
Okay, folks. So if you didn't catch on to that, I think he's just trying to tell you that he hasn't been sleeping well.
I'm glad you had to spell it out. I was trying to be a funny.
Well, you got to remember we have like kids listening to this podcast, so
Who?
yeah. I'm
What
kidding.
kid?
I'm kidding.
What kid is listening? Like, man, I want to hear grown men talk about their ex relationships and how it's stupid to pay exact change and then pay the rest on a card.
All right. Hey, I'll have you know, little Tommy wearing his Slayer shirt with his wristbands and his eyeliner, he's listening to this right now.
Tommy,
He looks up to you.
hey, Tommy, get the fuck off the phone and do your fucking homework. Now,
Probably right. You should tell him to do his homework. All right.
you can leave it on and listen. You can leave it on and still do your homework, but like you should stop staring at the phone while doing your homework. You should seriously do your homework, Tommy.
That's true. It'll come in handy later. So moving on to the next topic. I know we kind of spent a little bit. I know we spent a little bit too much time on that one. I mean, maybe not. Maybe the appropriate amount. Let us know if you think it was okay. We're really insecure individuals. Let's just mention that really quick. Alex and I are not these confident, sex machines that we sound like. We're kind of insecure in regards to our personalities, our humor, because I mean most comedians are, and I know that's a little arrogant to even say we're comedians, but I think a comedian is just somebody that masks their pain with sarcasm and humor. I think anybody that does that's a comedian, because it's really the salt of it. You just I don't know. That's how we deal with pain, pure and simple. We make jokes.
Listening to what you're saying, I have a feeling that there's two types of people in this world.
Mm-hmm.
There's comedians, and then there's the audience. There's comedians, doing what they can to, make their life interesting and to make other lives interesting. And then there's the other people, the audience, who kind of observe. And, if you have a small audience, I had this analogy in my head and I just lost it. But
I think I understand. You're saying there are people that are more apt to be entertained, and then there are people that are more apt to want people to entertain.
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I mentioned that's the salt of it. I didn't mean to, but it was just subliminal. It's subliminal, okay? I just want to tell you about a little bit of a sad story that came out of Kenya recently.
Okay.
I know that sounds random, but it affects all of us when it comes to endangered species. I know I sound like an activist or something right now, but there were 11 black rhinos that were moved from the capital of Kenya to a national park in the southeastern part of that country. And 8 of them died because of it. The saline levels where they were moved to were too high, and they died of salt poisoning.
Jeez.
Which is a good example of creating a bigger problem by trying to solve one, I think. By intervening with nature we caused more death. Deaths that wouldn't have happened had we just fortified where they were. Like if we had protected the area where they, I don't know, were naturally, and not moved them to a place we thought was acceptable, they might not be dead right now. But 8 of them, dude. I mean, statistically speaking, like how many females is that? How many males is that? They didn't specify in the article, but how many potential offspring were there, with these black rhinos that we could have saved, I guess. I don't know. That's just something I wanted to mention because it seemed like insane that they had such a derpy moment where they're like, I said derpy, by the way, if you guys don't know that adjective, it just means slow and silly, like they moved 11 rhinos and 8 of them died, but they moved them for the sole purpose of keeping them alive, which is ridiculous. That sounds like a dope lyric, man. I need to write that down.
Say that again.
I can't remember it, but I'll listen to the podcast and then I'll write it down. I'll write it down because that actually sounded good. They moved 11 rhinos. They moved 11 rhinos and 8 of them died. They moved them for the sole purpose of keeping them alive. That is actually, yeah, I think I got it. That's like some Eminem level stuff. That's like, yeah, I'm gonna go to America's Got Talent and light them up. Not really though. Alex, what are your thoughts on this debacle? Oh God.
Can I be perfectly honest? Can I be perfectly honest with you and our fans?
This is unedited. Yeah, you can, of course.
Last night, I had purchased some edibles, and I had one piece, which is the equivalent to 25 milligrams of that's how potent it was. Which I thought, okay, well that'll be fine. That'll put me to sleep. No. This has a point. Trust me, this has a point. I took one at about 9, and I started tripping, blacking out at like 10:30. And for the rest of the night, I just had these like hallucinatory just visions. I kept hearing things, and it was not fun. And fast forward to now, I'm sitting here, and I got to be perfectly honest, I have no idea what you were talking about for the last 5 minutes.
I mean, that's fine.
Like, I think you were talking about kids or rhinos or something.
Yeah, black rhinos.
I thought I heard black kids.
The endangered black rhino.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we should unendanger them. Am I right?
I mean, it would be a good idea to unendanger them, yeah, Alex. But the point of the statement was...
Let's think about it objectively. Why?
Well, that's the point. Is we actually caused the death of 8 rhinos by trying to save them, So.
Oh, yeah. Why? What? Besides, having an animal still alive on this planet, what do we gain? Just the fact that we saved this species from dying? Like, are we trying to justify our own murderistic mentality by saving these animals that like really?
Have you never?
I'm losing so many people now with this rant. The point I'm getting at is like, who the fuck cares? Like if they live, great. If they die, like things die. Who cares? Like, did you hear about the panda?
Yeah, the pandas aren't endangered anymore.
I know. It actually made me happy, despite everything I just said.
Right? Okay. So here's the thing, Alex. You know how an ecosystem works. if the bugs die, then the reptiles die, then the rats die, and the rats die, then the snakes and the birds, and the birds die, then whatever eats the birds dies. Like you don't understand the point of a food chain.
Yeah. Where's the rhino on that?
The rhino died because we as human beings were slaughtering them for their, horns and their hides, I guess. Poaching, I guess is the word. Anyways, we caused the problem. So I guess we feel that we have to fix the problem, which makes total sense, dude. Like, to me, it makes sense. However, I don't think that we should have tried to move them from their habitat. And you know what, Alex? Furthermore, as the human population grows, the amount of livable space for these wild animals shrinks. So that's why we have to intervene, because our population is continuing to grow. People keep fucking. So yeah, it's a problem we're creating. So it's a problem, we have some responsibility to keep in check,
Right.
That's how I feel about it.
Well, one thing to keep in mind is the Earth. The Earth is a very powerful thing, and whatever we do to the environment, to the ecosystem, no matter what, the Earth is going to adapt to what we're doing, and it's going to adapt. It's going to react, and the only reason it's negative is because it's affecting us negatively. But the only thing the Earth is doing is trying to survive. So, if we tear down a whole forest, what comes next is the Earth adapting to what had happened, because there have been massive floods, hurricanes, and stuff that have devastated islands. And, new plants come from that kind of shit, new fish. The air becomes different, and it's because the Earth is adapting.
Ooh, that's an interesting. So you're saying like you're saying that human beings couldn't hurt the Earth so bad that it couldn't come back from it, because as we hurt the Earth, we hurt ourselves. Meaning, if we open up a hole in the ozone layer and we all start dying of like radiation and stuff like that, that's going to be population control, which in turn will let the Earth heal itself. That's what you're saying. Like,
yeah,
cause and effect. Cause and effect.
Yeah, that's why a lot of people should realize that, like, we gotta save the environment. We gotta save this. Like the heart's in the right spot because you want to do that to protect your future children and everything. But you gotta remember, no matter what, unless like, Thanos from Infinity War snaps his finger or whatever, the planet itself will always be here. The bomb could drop tomorrow and every living thing could die, but the planet will still be here, and eventually a grass will grow or something, it will adapt.
I'm going to have to disagree with you on that point, unfortunately. I think that human beings could easily detonate a bomb that would destroy the Earth, by chain reaction. I think that we could easily do that. But, we have bombs, man, that could blow this planet in half if we arrange them correctly in the right configuration. The sun is constantly, berating the Earth with radiation, solar flares, stuff like that. Like this whole planet is reliant upon the sun, and the sun is not permanent. The sun is a dying star. So the Earth eventually is going to fall out of orbit or get burnt up. And so.
Well, fine then. Disagree with me. I don't give a shit. I'll just keep fucking talking to myself. Because like, don't you hate it when you have a discussion and then you like the other person brings up a very good point and you're just like, oh, well, fuck you, okay? Because like I thought I made sense.
No, you made sense, but I don't know. I guess I don't know. It's not productive speak on either of our parts, because we should care about our children in the future, and we should care about the environment, and we shouldn't be an asshole in litter, man. Don't litter, guys. And don't dump oil into the ocean. And don't pollute, regardless of what Alex said.
And no, I wasn't saying to pollute or anything. I'm just saying the point I'm getting at is, we should keep up with, saving whatever animals we can. That was just a depressive spurt. Sorry. We should do what we can to save what we can, but also realize that, like, the Earth is alive too. It's gonna survive. It's gonna survive whatever pollution we put in the air. It probably won't survive any bomb that Patrick made up in his basement, but yeah, it'll. That's a joke. FBI.
That's a hell of an accusation, my friend. That's a hell of an accusation. I don't appreciate it. 10 months of work.
At that moment. I would laugh if at that moment someone knocked on your door and you just freaked out like, it was a joke.
No, I would. You know what I would do? I would yell, 10 months of hard work down the drain. Anyways, that's what I would do. No.
Well, yeah, but to sum up this thing, because we're kind of dwelling on it, I'm going to agree with you on everything. Like, don't litter. Don't do it. Don't do what you can to be an active part in. And it could be as simple as not littering, and if you're going to be one of those hipster fucks that like, oh, well, we should go get water to Flint, we should get all that stuff. Go fucking do it. Don't just say it. Don't share the picture on Facebook and think that's enough. Actually, donate the $10 or actually drive up there and drop a fucking 12-pack of water off somewhere, do something.
I mean, I don't know. That's a fine line. I mean, because creating awareness is doing something, but don't act like you saved the world necessarily by creating awareness. Because unless you actually take action, I mean, it's a fine line. I mean, everybody appreciates the fact that you want to let everybody know, hey, there's a problem here. Because if we don't speak up, nothing will happen. That's a good thing. Always do what you can when you can, but you're not Mother Teresa if you just shared a post on Facebook.
Yeah, exactly.
But however, it's still better than nothing. So Alex, don't devalue the people's efforts. But again, you're not Mother Teresa or Father Teresa, which is a whole entirely different joke nowadays than it would have been 10 years ago. That's a whole gender issue there. Anyways, the next thing I have written here is verbatim, exactly what I have written. Oh wow, I misspelled John. What a fucking tool. Yeah, I misspelled John. Like, I am horrible.
How dare you be a human and misspell something?
No, because I look at everybody else's grammar, punctuation, spelling, and I'm like, peasants. Like I judge everybody else. but when I misspell something, I can't let it go. Like I'm like, I know better. Like I know better, man. It was like one of my best subjects, reading and writing. Like those are my best subjects, man. Believe it or not, I'm pretty decent in those subjects, just naturally. I've always loved language. But anyways, point is, the note I have written here is Papa John fired after quoting the use of the N-word.
You saw that, jeez.
Yeah, no. Here, yeah. So it wasn't even that he said it in a hateful way or a hurtful way. My understanding is, and correct me if I'm wrong, he quoted what somebody else said. And for that, he's losing his entire marketing empire. He's stepping down as the I forget what the term is, the chairman or the.
I think wasn't he just a spokesman?
No.
Or was he the actual? He was the actual guy, like the main CEO guy?
Yeah, he was up there. He was up in leadership. He was in leadership shoes for sure. And
I always thought he was just like a Jared or something, just molesting kids and everything.
no, I think he started the first original. I'm going to disregard that. He started the first original Papa John's. I don't know. He is Papa John. You know what I mean? Like, that's him. So I actually don't know the origin story behind that, if you guys want to correct me on it. But yeah, just because he quoted somebody else's use of the N-word, this is my understanding, again, correct me if I'm wrong, he lost everything for a word. For a word. For public opinion. For a word. Like, that seems ridiculous to me. Like, that'd be like someone taking the keys to your car because you said a bad word. That doesn't make any sense to me. You know? A word, not directed at anybody. Just a word. Like,
the way
what?
I look at it is they are looking at the fact that he said it at all and didn't censor himself, which
who cares? I mean,
some people care, because go on.
I was gonna say I would have been more accepting of somebody like jumping him in a public place. I would have been more accepting of somebody whipping his ass than him losing his entire empire, everything he's built over the years. That makes more sense to me than that. Like, okay, I get it. You've got a personal problem with him. Then be a fucking man or a woman about it and go whoop his ass. If not, then why is it your business to take away what he's built? I don't know. I'm not promoting like physical violence against people. Well, actually, you know what? Physical violence against racists? Yeah, probably. I'd promote that. I think but he's not racist. He just said a word, guys. He said a word. It wasn't even like he was like, I don't like those people. No, he was quoting somebody. That's what's killing me. It leads me to my next point. We're saying that we're becoming like a more tolerant and open society. I don't believe that in the slightest if a man can lose his job over a word.
I don't know, man. Like, I agree with you. Like, especially in the context of him just like saying like the example or whatever, because I feel like that is like I get it if they're like, well, dude, we get that you're just saying what happened, but like just don't say it. But like the extreme backlash of it is definitely a bit much. Just
well,
like,
okay.
hey, just don't say that.
Okay, so let me give you an example of something where maybe that would be warranted. Think about Kramer from frickin'
no.
I'm gonna dig that up because think about, and I didn't write this down. This is just off the top. Kramer from Seinfeld.
Wait. Wasn't hold on, wasn't it? Throw that out of there. Throw that out of there.
I don't remember what he said exactly, but the point is in a situation like that, totally understandable. Like, what would be funny is if we were actually doing the same quote that Papa John did. That would be funny. On accident. That would be humorous. No, if it were something like that.
What if Papa John was quoting Kramer?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I said, Alex.
I didn't.
The point. Yeah, if it was related, if it was something like that, it's totally warranted to lose your job, I would think. But if it's, I don't know, if it's something where you're quoting somebody else, I just don't see it. I don't see it being justifiable. Like, I find that very annoying that he's being crucified and just torn apart and eviscerated because of stating that somebody else said something, you know? And it's not a cop-out. He was genuinely quoting somebody. For what reason, I'm not sure. I guess I'd have to find that out before making like a solid deliberation, but he is Papa John, guys. Like, and now he's just, oh my God. South Park. I thought we were done with the South Park shenanigans. There was an episode where Stan's dad, he got labeled a, blank space guy. I'm not going to say the word.
That episode.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I saw that episode, I died laughing. I could not stop laughing through the entire episode.
Because it's a joke, man. I don't, like, why are we so tight-assed about everything now, you know? I don't get it, man. Like, even now talking to you, I don't feel comfortable saying anywhere close to the word because you never know. It's so horrible. It's a word, guys. I realize it's tied to a couple hundred years of horrible shit, right?
Right.
But can't we put it? I mean, well, I hate it. It'd be easy for me to say, can't we put it behind us? But
no, we can't.
I know. It'd be easy for me to say that, right? But eventually, we're gonna get so freaking. We have to eventually. I mean, everybody is trying to come together, but it's in the weirdest way. Like, we should be together. We should love each other. We should be one. But we shouldn't do that based on political parties or being offended. We should come together for good reasons, positive reasons. Yeah. That's, I guess that's my point is, like, we're just so sensitive when what really all this sensitivity shows is how far we haven't come, That people being overly sensitive about these things shows that they're not over it, They haven't come to terms with, the way the world is now, where everybody, is just trying to live their lives. Yeah, I don't know. They want to create problems sometimes where there aren't problems, controversy, if that makes sense.
I think it.
Yeah. Anyways, that was one thing, and I guess I'm gonna speak on something that maybe I shouldn't speak on for fear of getting my head cut off or something. But
Go on.
The superhero or the superhero, the guy that plays Superman in the new Justice League.
Yeah.
He was quoted saying that he remembers a time where women were meant to be chaste, and there was like, there was something about the charm of like having to pursue or like court a woman, right?
Right. I get it.
That's totally morally acceptable, like that makes sense. Yeah, they used to bring her flowers and go one day, Mary Jane, you're gonna, Mary Jane, you're gonna marry me, and we're gonna have a wonderful life. And she'll go, ho ho ho, never, not today, James. And James is like, but yeah, eventually, right? And she's like, we'll see. And he's like, oh boy, I'm gonna buy her chocolates on Valentine's Day, and be her secret admirer. Back when it was actually romantic and not like stalkerish, because today, I mean, these days it would be stalkerish for sure. To buy somebody something unsolicited. Yeah, I feel like that would be weird. But anyways, he goes on to say that he's so scared as a man of influence, as a celebrity, in the hashtag Me Too era, he's so scared to go up to, just a random woman and just say hello for fear of being accused of being a rapist or something. Now, the media latched hold of this, and all the trolls of the internet attacked him and said, if you don't know the difference between saying hello and raping, then you're the problem. And then, they also said, if you think that you're accidentally going to rape somebody, then maybe you shouldn't talk to women. And it's like, that's not what he was saying. I think he was saying that being a man of influence, people will use that against him to get money or to ruin his career. Like, if a woman is scorned, she'll use that against him. She'll use his stature in the world, even if things are all copacetic and they like each other and this and that. If she happens to decide one day, just like a cannon fuse, just to go off and ruin his career, she could, with a simple word. And I think that that's what he was afraid of, But
Well,
people are obviously running away with it and telling everybody he's a rapist and stuff, which is okay, I guess. I don't care.
the thing a lot of people have to realize is we're still coming down from a very objectifying era, a very controlling era. Believe it or not, we're starting to get a little bit more free. And the fact that, we have a Me Too movement, Black Lives Matter movement, all that stuff, I feel is great because it means that we have the ability to make change for something good if, we actually attempt to do it.
Can you turn off that noise in the background?
I'm trying to. I've been trying to this entire time. But why'd you have to say something? Now I'm fugazi'd. But the point I'm getting at is, and volume down. Okay, I got it. The point I'm getting at is that, we lived in a very oppressive era for, well, I'll say probably thousands of years, and we're still coming down from, owning people. We're still coming down from women staying in the kitchen, and it's a great thing to come down from because we're getting so much more productive in social settings while still address the only reason that issues like that still occur is because some people are still attached to that something that we romanticized. But if you were a woman back then, you probably, I don't know, but you probably felt obligated to to be, the best example I can think of is Mad Men, where all the women on there were, they were secretaries and receptionists. And, the fact that one woman started to become a person of influence in the company was such a huge deal. I'm starting to ramble now, but I feel like we are.
You're saying that we have come a long way with women's rights, and civil rights movement, the women's rights movement, which is, I mean, pretty obvious. But you're saying that it's like we're still learning how to walk with these new legs, so it's kind of making things weird.
Yeah,
Right.
and it's a good thing because it's not going to be perfect. There's still going to be people who think like, hey man, hey lady, you're really cute. Let me one beer. The Dane Cook joke, just one beer, and it's like, oh, I don't want to, just one. Like,
Hey, listen, there is nothing wrong with one consenting adult offering to buy a beverage for another consenting adult that accepts it, dude. That happens
I agree
all the time.
No, I totally agree, but it has to be consenting. So if I go up to a lady at a bar, like, hi, can I buy you a beer? And she goes, no, thank you. It's like, it's up to me as a fucking adult to go,
Oh, yeah.
Okay, have a great night.
Definitely, dude. That okay. I thought you were saying like under no circumstances should you try to socialize with the opposite sex.
No.
Okay.
No, not at all. Not at all. But like, in scenarios like being at a bar and talking to women, try
that's the
it.
right place.
Yeah, and if try talking. Don't let the fear of it hold anyone back. But if they say no, don't think, oh, she's playing hard to get. No, she probably said no. She said no.
No, definitely. And honestly, I'm the type of guy that I don't pursue purely because like, I don't want to. I just don't. I'm not that guy, and I don't want to be that guy. The 60-year-old man in the gold chain with the top 3 buttons of his shirt undone, and he smells like aftershave. That guy that's had one too many, and he doesn't know when no is no. Because I've seen it. Like he'll come up to a girl and be like, you just danced, and they're like, no, thank you. And he's like, come on, we just danced. Don't be such a, and he'll say like a shitty word. And I've witnessed this in real life. Honestly, I've been in some cases I've been elected to be like a buffer, for these innocent women that are just hanging out, having a good time. They're like, well, could you please just hang with us for a minute and just, keep any weird people from talking to us? And I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? Like, just let me know who they are, and I'll play interception. Is that right? I'll play defense. So, yeah. Defense. There we go. Defense. Defense is a better word. You can tell that I watch all the sports, right? It's basically, and then that's cool. Like, because then you actually get to hang out and talk with them, like, without any pressure, because like you're preventing the weird motherfuckers, the ones that actually are going to be like, one drink, like you're preventing those people from having their day, So I enjoy doing that at bars. I like being the guy that's like, hey, talk with me for a second. And then like while the 2 girls actually escape, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
2 or 3 girls
you're
actually.
The hero. Yeah.
It feels nice to actually go out and then actually have a genuine interaction with people and just talk and shoot the breeze and bullshit without any kind of implications. And then, when you've got this weird guy that's like 20 years older than them, he comes up and he's like, hey, ladies. It's like, and then he actually starts to buddy up to you because he thinks that's going to earn him favor with them, all the while they're disappearing, That's actually something that's happened to me before, and I thought that was just beautiful. It was a beautiful moment because then he looked at me like, what do we do? I'm like, I don't know. And I just walked away. Oh, he was so pissed. I don't know.
Me?
Oh, just
the guy. I thought you were talking about me.
No, this guy who had no business hitting on these girls. He was so mad when he looked at me, and then the floor just disappeared underneath him. Like he was like, wait, I've been had. And it's like, yeah, you fucking idiot. Stop being an idiot.
Exactly.
Hey. But
I feel like we're on the same page with that.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to talk to women, I mean, they appreciate conversation and actual human interaction. I mean, some women out there, maybe not, maybe they just want to do physical things, but they'll let you know, okay? They'll let you know what's right and what's wrong in regards to how you're interacting with them. And the same goes for you, ladies. A guy will let you know if he's interested in talking or if he just wants to be left alone. It's body language. It's 101 stuff, guys. It's day one stuff. I don't know. It's not preschool anymore. When they're hitting you, it means they like you. Okay, we're adults now. If he hits you, he probably doesn't like you. He probably doesn't like himself either. He's a POS. Oh, side note, one of our listeners was listening to episode, I think it was 2, and they mentioned that I was choking on water, and that was like the highlight of the podcast for them. I was choking on water. I was choking on water, and I was like, well, how much do you like me that you laugh at me like choking on water? And they were like, no, it was because I could relate. Because I was choking for a solid 30 seconds. I was dying. And Alex was like, are you okay? And I'm like, no. No. Gonna fucking get pneumonia. Anyways. Yeah. I think I think we do better when we have talking points, guys. I may try to make an effort to keep this going in regards to the talking points, just to give you guys something to look forward to, some content to enjoy, and maybe have you leave the podcast with a little bit more knowledge than maybe you had before.
Yeah.
Because I mean, honestly, if you're just listening to two guys bitch about their lives for an hour, I mean, maybe that's therapeutic. Maybe you can relate. Maybe sometimes that's okay. But I don't know. I guess I just want to give you more quality than that if you are a loyal listener, because this is episode 8 of Unedited. And believe me, it has been work. It has been personal drama. It has been work. But I'll have you know, we're on Facebook now, Twitter, and YouTube, and Spotify, and iTunes.
You all should be sure to keep an eye on our Twitter, because we do update that regularly.
I mean, I have, yeah.
That's why I was trying to give you credit without being obvious.
Oh, well, let me just be obvious. Yeah, I updated that a couple times since I started it.
I inherited my dad's laugh.
Hey, I inherited the laugh of a vacuum cleaner, so we're fine. Like that's not really my laugh, but you get the idea. It's breathing. My laugh is only breathing. What is your laugh? Is that your laugh? Like, okay, we're spiraling.
Like whenever something's like actually genuinely funny to me, I do the
Oh, you do?
That's my dad's laugh. I got that from him.
Oh, you sure? Blame your father.
I will blame him for whatever I want. Anyway, but yeah, I got it from him.
Oh, well, that's just special. Yeah. So this has been episode 8 of Unedited. I'm your host, Patrick, as always, and my co-host is Alex right here. B as in Valium. Any final thoughts from you, Alex?
No, just thank everyone. I want to thank everyone for listening, and we hope that this keeps going. Please, like he said, with our socials, message us, give us ideas, ask us questions. We will address it.
Yeah, I mean, right now we're just starting out, so we need all the input we can get. I took advice
even if it's something stupid like, hey Alex, try talking a little bit further away from the phone. I'll listen.
Yeah, I mean, I took advice from one of the listeners, and I created talking points, legitimate talking points, like a grown-up. Anyways, I want you to know that we will do our best to keep this going, even during the low points of our lives. Not being specific, Alex is going through a thing, and he still had the guff to come up on this podcast and have a conversation with me, which I applaud him for, and you should too. It's a delicate time of year for me as well, and I just want to make a point to say, if you're having depressing thoughts, if you're thinking about doing something to yourself or others that might be like harmful, if you're thinking about killing yourself, let's be honest, if you're thinking about ending your life or harming somebody else, don't, just talk to somebody. And it doesn't matter who you talk to. I don't care. Order a pizza and talk to the
delivery guy. Yeah.
Talk to the delivery guy, or just go outside and make jokes to strangers until one of them laughs. Until you get a smile. I mean, call up a relative, maybe even a relative that hates you. Call them and just talk to them.
They will listen.
You might find that you have more in common than you previously thought. If you show your humanity to others, I will tell you 9 times out of 10 they will respond with their humanity, because we all have it. It's not there's nobody that's truly dead inside. You can relate to all these other people. You're not alone. It's the number one thing I want to get across. You're not alone. It doesn't matter if you're a badass war hero. It doesn't matter if you're a fucking clerk at a gas station. We all have basic humanity in common. It doesn't matter if you're a Republican, if you're a fucking Democrat. It doesn't matter, okay? I want to stress that. I hate that we think that this makes us different. It does not. You're not different, okay? Just fucking talk to somebody, okay? Because if you go, you're not gonna get what you wanted. I promise you. It's not gonna solve your problems. It's only gonna give them to somebody else. So, and I'm not mad at you, okay? I know it sounds like I'm aggressive, but sometimes it's like the only way to shock somebody back to reality is to yell at them, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I was verbally smacking you in the fucking head. That was my goal, okay? If you felt it, then I feel like I've done my job. Just talk to somebody. Google, like, fucking suicide helpline, okay? Because I don't know the number off the top of my head.
To just add on to that as well, I agree with everything that Patrick is saying. If you have strong emotions of any kind, if you feel like you're lost or whatever, talk to somebody. Don't laugh at what I'm saying. I didn't laugh at all.
I'm sorry. I was just thinking, like, an example. I knew Alex was intoxicated and he was going through some drama. You know what I did? I think it was 1 a.m. I called him. I called him to be the annoying friend. Sometimes you got to be the annoying friend. That's fine. It shows that you care enough to give them shit. Okay. And it makes a difference, I think.
It really does. if you do something little like that, it really does. It can change someone's life. You could probably have saved them from doing something. Just knowing that someone called, it does.
Yeah. I'll tell you I'll tell you why this part of the year, and I'll bare my soul a little bit. This part of the year is hard for me because my older brother, I won't use his name. He committed suicide at the end of July 2015. He had been drinking and he just ended it. Boom, like that. Gone from history. Everybody that loved him lost him physically. Now, yeah, and then as well as my mother at the beginning of August 4th, 2014. She had a long history with prescription medication. She couldn't deal with reality. She felt like nobody cared about her, and she just, that was her escape. By the time she finally got clean, the damage was done. She suffered renal kidney failure, and that's I attribute it to the fact that maybe she didn't get enough help. Honestly, I just think we need to be there for each other. That's how I feel about it. And I hate to end this on a bumming note, but it's a real thing, and I just wanted to call awareness to it.
Yeah, and it's an important note to leave on. Not everything has to end funnily. You know. So just and if you see someone going through a hard time, step up. They'll thank you for it eventually.
You don't have to do anything much. Like, I'm an asshole. I'm not always an asshole, but I'm generally rude because I'm careless with my words. I'll just say what's on my mind. That's who I am. But even having somebody that's a little bit crass talk to you when you're feeling down, it still helps. Maybe it's not the best, but it still helps. It has to. Anyways, this has been episode 8 of Unedited.
We'll be back with more slapstick dick humor next time.
Yep. Alex and I love you. We would marry you if you wanted to elope to Vegas. So keep that in mind.
As long as you're not married too, because then that would make things awkward, and those don't work out usually.
That's true. Yeah.
So everyone have a great night or day if you're listening to this, and we will see you in episode 9.
Yep. Follow us on the social medias. Peace out.
Later.
The podcast you just heard was published with Anchor. Got something you want to say to the creator of this show? Send them a voice message using the Anchor app, free for iOS and Android.